Beck Chevrolet Studio Annex. This is Time on Overtime on the Time on Overtime YouTube channel. I'm your host, Rick Arsenal. First things first, as always, if you haven't done so yet, get down there in the corner and you smash that like and subscribe button. And I'll tell you, thank you very much. All right. I wanted to wait to do the show today. I wanted to wait till the Tiger game was over with. Pardon me. Brad Holmes took questions from the press this morning. I did not get it. I wanted to wait and watch that, look at that. It went for about 15 or 20 minutes. He and his assistant, Ray Agnew, took questions for about 15 to 20 minutes. I want to sit down and watch that a little while ago on YouTube, review that. I took some notes. So we'll go over that and talk a little bit about the Tigers. I don't. This shouldn't take too long today. Yeah. Okay. So let's get the ball rolling here, shall we? Time on Overtime is sponsored in part by Frank Beck Chevrolet at M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville. If it's time for a new to you vehicle, let the sales professionals at Beck's help you choose the right vehicle, new or pre-owned. Beck's has the top selection in the tri-state area with over 200 vehicles in stock. Stop by and see for yourself, and when you're ready, ask for Russ McMorty, Chris Hodes, Danny Smith, Adam Schaefer, Blake Bryant, Cameron Mitziel, Bob Flynn, or Peyton Lucas. And when it comes time to service that new to you vehicle, pardon me, the service pros at Beck's can fix it. Any make, any model, Ford or domestic, Beck's can fix it. And if you have a bit of a crunch or fender bender, Beck's Body Shop can put it back together looking just as good as new. So for all your automotive needs, look no further than Frank Beck Chevrolet at M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville. 517-849-2886 or on the web at frankbeckchevy.com. Come and experience the Frank Beck difference. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. As I have been on every show now for the last several weeks, I will be informing you about a very special event which will be taking place Saturday, September the 14th. That would be 2 weeks from Saturday out at Frank Beck Chevrolet, where we will be honoring our area's first responders. I'll be elaborating on that for you in just a few minutes. But let's talk about the Tigers first. Before I do that, let me take a slug of water here. Hang on just a second. It is still hot. It is still humid. And as I've said before, I've been sneezing my full head off. This has been a very bad summer for me, folks. And I don't know about you, but I've just about had my fill of the heat and humidity. I'm not a parent, and I don't have any kids going to school right now. There had been a couple of days this week, either halfway through the school day or maybe not at all. The kids have not gone to school because the heat and humidity have been so unbearable, and they don't have any AC in their classrooms. They had no other choice other than to call school. As I said, I'm not a parent, but to me, this is what you get. This is what you get, folks, for starting your school in the middle of August without any air conditioning in your classrooms. What do you expect? I know where they're doing it. So they can get out of school on Memorial Day in May, like they did last year. Used to, whatever the good old day, used to be, we knew growing up, we didn't even have to look at a calendar. We knew that the first day of school would be the day after Labor Day. They've done a complete 180-degree turn on this. We went to school the day after Labor Day. We got out about the middle of June. Well, maybe that's not good enough now. We want to be out by Memorial Day. Oh, do you really? maybe you should look for another job. If you don't quite like the hours and what's going on now, maybe you're in the wrong profession. That's my editorial for the day. Bottom line is, this is what you're going to get for starting school in the middle of August. That's it. Now let's get to sports. Tigers lost today. Although they out-hit the Angels 8-7, they got shut out again for the umpteenth time this year. I don't think Kyler Martero pitched that badly. What hurt him was a 2-run homer, made a 1-0 game, a 3-0 game. They had a shot to get back into the game. They loaded the bases in the 8th inning, but they did not score. All right, so right now, as we speak, they are 68-67. 5 games out of that final wild card spot behind Minnesota. They've got Boston coming in for a series starting tomorrow night. For all practical purposes, this will be their playoffs. This series with the Red Sox. You've got to, if you're any chance at all of sneaking into the playoffs, you'd have to take 2 out of 3 from Boston. And they've got pardon me, they've got 2 road trips left this year. Next week they'll be in San Diego and Oakland for 6 games. And a couple of weeks after that, they'll be in KC and Baltimore for 6 more. They've got the 4th easiest schedule here in the last, 27 games. They've got the 4th easiest schedule. I don't think they'll get in. To me, it's just finish with a winning record, please. That would be 82 wins. Problem is that they dug themselves too big of a hole in May and June. I know their 2 best hitters were gone for a sustained period of time, and Riley Green and Kerry Carpenter. Yeah, that had a lot to do with it. Then they lost their starting pitchers. A lot of people think that they should have, instead of being sellers at the trade deadline, they should have been buyers and hung on to Flaherty and tried to bring in another bat. Anyway, I still think if they could finish with a winning record, that'd be 82 wins. I would make A.J. Hinch, in spite of everything that's going on, especially with this pitching staff. He'd have to be a candidate, maybe even get my vote for manager of the year at this point. I was going to say, too, if they had somehow made the playoffs, I would think Scott Harris would have to be a candidate for executive of the year. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I just don't. Sorry, I don't see it. It's a fun team to watch, second youngest team in all of Major League Baseball. But no, I'd be satisfied with 82 wins. Just finish with a winning record. It was my understanding that Casey Mize, I thought I had heard earlier in the week, he was going to maybe even close to coming back, maybe even start tomorrow night. That's not happening. He's still in Toledo yet. In fact, I've got the pitching matchups for this series coming up with the Red Sox. I'll give them to you right after I tell you about this very special event, which will be 2 weeks from Saturday, September the 14th at Frank Beck Chevrolet on M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville. Mark it down on your calendars. Beck's will be celebrating their 9th annual Salute to First Responders. This year, there will be a very special tribute to the Hillsdale County Sheriff's Department, and rightfully so. Bring the kids, let them get up close to emergency vehicles, meet police and firefighters, play games, and more. There will be a free lunch. You sign up for prizes as we celebrate the area's first responders. Plus, there will be a poker run as well. That's Saturday, September the 14th, 2 weeks from Saturday at Frank Beck Chevrolet on M99, of course, between Hillsdale and Jonesville. I think you can get more info on the web at frankbeckchevy.com. Stop by, especially that day, and experience the Frank make difference. We will be doing a timeout show from out there. Let's hope the weather is good. We get a good day weather-wise. I can promise you, folks, you and your family will have a wonderful time out there. We had a lot of fun doing the show out there last year. Uh, the kids, it's a great day for the kids. I can promise you they'll have a lot of fun out there. It will be a fun-filled day for the whole family. And as I said, with a special honor this year to the Hillsdale County Sheriff's Department. Saturday, September the 14th, put a big circle around your calendar, put an X on there, put it in your phone, whatever you're going to do. But we look forward to seeing you out there. Again, Saturday, September the 14th. And as I said, we'll be doing the show out there, so please stop by and say hi to us. I know we had a lot of fun out there last year. We look forward to doing it again this year. Boy. As I said, this has been a bad summer for me. From the neck up, it's just been bad. Oh, okay. Trying to get through the next few minutes without sneezing too, but the pitching matchups for this series with the Red Sox. And looking at the radar for tomorrow night, don't be surprised if the game starts in another rain delay. I'm seeing a rather large storm coming through the Detroit area right about game time. So quite possible you're looking at another rain delay tomorrow night. They should have big crowds all weekend, as they always do when the Yankees and Red Sox come to Detroit. Seems like half the fans there are either Yankee fans or Red Sox fans. I don't think that'll be any different this weekend. Pitching matchups. Tomorrow night, the Red Sox will go with right-hander Tanner Houck. He's only 8-9, but he's got a very good ERA of 3.23. It's good old TBD, to be determined, for the Tigers tomorrow night. They don't have anybody listed for starting tomorrow night. Saturday, of course, the Red Sox will go with another right-hander. Nick Pivetta, 5-9 with an ERA of 4.61. Tigers will go with who I think will win the Cy Young this year, Terrence Skubal, on Saturday night. And Sunday is good old TBD for the Red Sox. Ty Madden will be making his second start for the Tigers before they embark on that West Coast trip. It takes them to San Diego and Oakland. Is that all we're going to say about the Tigers and baseball right now? I thought I had something else I wanted to tell you. And I usually see it in the notes once I get off the air, but I don't see anything right now. As I said, I thought Mize was going to go earlier in the week. It looked like he might be starting tomorrow night, but he's still down at Toledo yet. I think he's getting close, but maybe he'll start on that on the West Coast trip. Anyway, before we get any further, too, I want to put in a good word for a good man who, without his help, I wouldn't be able to do this. Tim Lindley at Quality PC in downtown Hillsdale at 37 Walter Street. For all your technical service needs, this is the guy you want to see. 37 Walter Street, downtown Hillsdale, a couple hundred feet west of Howell. Like I said, for any tech service needs, this is the man you want to see. He is the most knowledgeable tech service guy in our area. Anything, computers, pardon me, new or used, smart TV installation and programming, internet installation, printers, new or used, anything. Get in there and see Tim, would you please? And again, that's at 37 Waldo Street, downtown Hillsdale at 517-610-5372. Or better still, get in there and see him. And when you do, tell him Rick and Maggie sent you. We would both appreciate that very much. Now to the Lions. Brad Holmes and his assistant general manager, Ray Agnew, took questions in Allen Park today for about 15 or 20 minutes. I did write down a few notes uh, on what he was asked and what he had and what his answer were to those questions. Before that, I wanted to quickly run down the Lions 16-man practice squad with you as it is now. This thing could change a lot between now and right through the season. So let's quickly go down that list. Quarterback, Jake Fromm. I'm glad Jake from State Farm made this practice squad. I'll tell you what Brad Holmes had to say about him in just a few minutes. Anyway, one quarterback, Jake Fromm. They've got one running back on the squad, Jermar Jefferson. Four wide receivers, two who they just brought in. That would be Tim Patrick and Allen Robinson. They did bring Donovan Peoples-Jones back, and good old Tom Kennedy. Good old Tom Kennedy is back on the practice squad again. Tom Kennedy, by the way, I think we can say has made the practice squad Ring of Honor. If he's not there, let's put him there. I think he deserves to be on there. So let's put Tom Kennedy on the Lions practice squad Ring of Honor. It wouldn't be a practice squad without good old Tom Kennedy. Anyway, offensive lineman Kingsley Eguquan. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Eguaqun, Eguquan, I think. Offensive tackle Jamarco Jones. Tight end Shane Zylstra. Tight end James Mitchell. A little bit surprised that Parker Hess beat both of them out. They earned a spot on the 53-man roster. I didn't see that coming. That might be the most surprise move I saw the Lions make this week. Parker Hess beating out both Shane Zylstra and James Mitchell for that third tight end spot. Edge Isaac Ukwu, edge Mitchell Agude, defensive tackle Chris Smith, defensive tackle Kyle Pecco, defensive tackle Pat O'Connor, and safety CJ Moore. Right now, as of today, that is your 16-man practice squad. So, a couple of things touching that Brad Holmes touched on. Someone asked him, I think one of the first questions was in regard to Jake Fromm. Brad has been scouting Jake Fromm. It goes back to his high school days in Georgia when he played at Warner Robins High School. Right through his high school career, his career at Georgia. And he kind of, when he brought him in here, when Hooker went down, I think it was after the first game in New York or New Jersey against the Giants, Hooker went down with a possible concussion. He said they just brought Fromm in for insurance, but they were so impressed by what he did in camp. And that fourth quarter that he played last Saturday against Pittsburgh, which kind of sold them putting him on the practice squad. I thought too. I was texting out while he was playing. Now, okay, granted, he was playing against third and fourth stringers, guys that probably aren't even on the Steelers squad anymore. But the thing that was impressive to both me and the line coaches was his pocket presence. The fact that his accuracy, and he was throwing to receivers that he hadn't worked with in practice before. Footwork, I just liked everything I saw from him. Let's hope, though, he is on the practice squad. And that means unless something happens to Goff or Hooker, that's where he'll be all year. Now, he will be participating, as will the other members of the practice squad, during the week with the Lions at practice. That's why it's called the practice squad. So, he also talked, Holmes also talked about Lee McNeil. He was asked about his contract status. McNeil, of course, is in the last year of his current contract. There's nothing imminent about that right now, but The Lions have made it very plain and clear to his representatives. They do want to get something done. They do want to extend him. Wouldn't surprise me to see them have some kind of announcement, a bye week, which would be, I think, week number 5, to be right after the Seattle game. 2 weeks in between that and the game at Dallas. If they get something going with Lee McNeil, that would not surprise me at all. But ready to lose my camera here. Hang on just a second. There we go. Jake Bates. He was asked about Jake Bates. Lions have the utmost confidence in Jake Bates. I'm glad they do, because I don't. I'm sorry if you can't make a 30-yard field goal or an extra point, Jake. I've got no use for you. But Lions completely confident that he can get the job done. All right. I'm glad they are, because I'm not. If it comes down to the determining who wins or loses, if he misses an extra point or a short field goal, it's on their hands. Now, he did say that within the next few days, they will be bringing in another kicker to the practice squad. And if that's the case, then that means somebody else will be deleted from the practice squad. That's why this is a temporary list here, this practice squad. He talked for about 15 or 20 minutes. He, like I said, he mentioned Hooker, how pleased they were with him, and how good he looked Saturday. And he won the backup spot. He is the backup quarterback, which means he will be running the scout team every week in practice. I think that'll be good for him. Let's hope the Lions have a big enough lead in some of these games in the fourth quarter we can see Hendon Hooker. Anyway, before I forget too, I think on Saturday, I want to tell you about this before we sign off tonight. Connor Orr, a writer for Sports Illustrated, every year, I don't know how long he's been doing this, has come out with a prediction of every game for every team, all 32 teams, what they're going to do in all 17 games. I thought it was interesting. So that's going to take some time, and I think the bulk of the show Saturday will be devoted to his list of how he thinks things are going to shake out this year in the National Football League. Don't forget, 1 week from tonight already. 1 week from tonight. Is that September the 5th? It is. We've got the Ravens and Chiefs on NBC. Looking forward to that. Our college teams will be getting underway this weekend. Michigan State will host Florida Atlantic tomorrow night at Spartan Stadium. Wolverines play Saturday night at the Big House against Fresno State Bulldogs. That will be on NBC. And football is back. And it is good to have it back. So, the Super Bowl is Sunday, February 11th of next year, which, of course, is 3 days before Valentine's Day. So for husbands or boyfriends who haven't seen their wife or girlfriend for 5 months, take them out for dinner on Valentine's Day. Honey, good to see you. I haven't seen you for 5 months. There you go. Football widows. Yeah, that's what they are. Did I touch on everything that Brad Holmes had to say today? He mentioned the fact that he liked the depth that they had on the offensive line. I'm a little bit surprised no one asked him about DJ Reader, and he didn't say anything about Reader. The Lions pretty much have DJ Reader targeted to start in the second game of the year against Tampa. They haven't completely ruled him out for opening night next week against the Rams, but it's still a possibility. but the odds are he won't play until the second game of the year against Tampa, which is fine. You've been telling us so much about the reincarnation of Levi Onwuzurike. I'm anxious to see him play and see what he does. Well, be interesting. A couple of things from around the league I wanted to add before we sign off. Mike Tomlin of Pittsburgh has announced Russell Wilson has won the starting QB job here over Justin Fields. Although I think by the end of the season, I think Fields will be the quarterback. Again, what did he have to prove by playing Russell Wilson against the Lions scrubs last Saturday? I really don't know what that proved. Of course, he went right down the field. They had no trouble scoring. I don't think there's a whole lot of difference between Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, but I just don't. Also, another quarterback battle in New England. Jacoby Brissett has beaten out rookie Drake May for the starting quarterback job in New England. I think most prognosticators are picking the Patriots to finish last in the AFC East this year. I'd have to agree with that. Okay, we're about done here. I probably went over time anyway. So that's about it. Don't forget, there's football also on Sunday night. The featured game Sunday night will be USC versus LSU. It should be a pretty good game. And again, like I said, next Thursday night we get into the NFL season. That's it. Don't forget Saturday morning, 9 to 10 here locally. Time out with Andy and Jed on WCSR 92.1 FM. And we will talk to you folks again on Saturday, where, as I said, it's going to take up the bulk of the show. We're going to get to this list, Sports Illustrated list of predicting every game for every team this season. Interesting. It's going to take some time, but I think you'll find it interesting and informative. So until then, remember, please treat each other with respect. Have a good rest of your evening. And so long, everybody.